here. We must get bin Laden. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Well, why haven't they got bin Laden? They've got satellite technology that can read your number plate from space. Oh, I've got the number plate, mate. I can't see it. He ain't got a beard. He ain't got a beard. Can't find bin Laden. This is from a Newsnight documentary. For people watching this on the internet, it's a current affairs program in Britain. A guy called Greg Palast is an American journalist, and as journalists go, he's well ahead of your normal mainstream journalist. He said in Saudi Arabia, this is a quote that was from Michael Springman, US consulate in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, that was on the program. He was in that position when Father Bush was president. In Saudi Arabia, I was repeatedly ordered by high-level State Department officials to issue visas to unqualified applicants. These were essentially people who had no ties either to Saudi Arabia or to their own country. I complained bitterly at the time there. I returned to the US, I complained to the State Department here, to the General Accounting Office, to the Bureau of Diplomatic Security, and to the Inspector General's office. I was met with silence. What I was protesting was, in reality, an effort to bring recruits rounded up by Osama bin Laden to the US for terrorist training by the CIA. They would then be returned to Afghanistan to fight against the then Soviets, which I mentioned earlier. And this is Palast on the same the same report on the program. I received a phone call from a high-placed member of a US intelligence agency. He tells me that while there's always been constraints on investigating Saudis, under George Bush it's gotten much worse. After the elections, the agencies were told to back off investigating the bin Ladens and Saudi royals, and that angered agents. Why? Because the Bush family were connected into the bin Laden family in ways I describe in my books, and it was one of those to create the war on terror. This is the late Robin Cook, just before he died. Throughout the night, he was one time Foreign Secretary in Britain. Throughout the 1980s, bin Laden was armed by the CIA and funded by the Saudis to wage jihad against the Russian occupation of Afghanistan. Al-Qaeda, literally the database, was originally the computer file of the thousands of mujahideen who were recruited and trained with the help of the CIA to defeat the Russians. As I said earlier, in other words, they were creating the terrorists to frighten the people with, to justify the introduction of the Big Brother state. David Davis, Shami Chakrabarti of Liberty, wake the hell up! Because they don't want to know about this. Massive connections between the bin Laden family and the Bush family. And here's the man, Zbigniew Brzezinski, who was at the heart of what I've just described when he was in the Carter administration, the man behind Barack Obama. Change we can believe in. This is how the whole thing works. One force controlling both sides to create a movie to manipulate public opinion to accept changes in society that lead to the Orwellian state. Fear. Fear, the four-letter word that controls the world. Once you get people in fear, they will look outside of themselves for people or organizations to protect them from what they have been manipulated to fear. Fear is the greatest of all mass mind manipulation techniques. Because of fear, we have this introduced, justified by what I've been talking about. This is a poster from Germany in 1934. That's a poster from London today. And this is from Sheffield. Somebody in Sheffield sent me this. This is from Sheffield bus station. Every bus, tram, oh no, let's start from the top. Spit and run, you'll still get caught. DNA. Ooh, aye. Every bus, tram and interchange has DNA testing kits. Spit at the staff and you can be traced and prosecuted, even if we don't know what you look like. And your records will be on the National DNA database forever. We're free, honey. I love it. Did he spit? Get the DNA tested. What are you talking about? Here we go. Help me find and kill the terrorists. Tell on your neighbours. Tell on your friends. Tell on your family. Hey, there's some meeting going on at that Willoughby Manor Hotel. I think I don't know what's going on here. I think we better get over here quick. Yeah, you might bloody learn something. Get over. I promise never to question authority. I promise never to bring up my rights. Stop asking questions. They'll all want to do it. Quiet. Shut up. But you can have free speech. There you go. No problem. Free speech zones. What's that about? Free speech zones. You cannot say what you want here, but you can say it there. I've got a uniform on, so I've got a brain. The internet is fantastic for spreading information, but they're trying to edit that and censor that, as I say, because that's a bad side of the internet for them. But the internet's magnificent if you want to track people and track what they're doing and stuff. This is being justified in the same way. And this is Hitler. I was going to say this earlier, but it's come later. Adolf Hitler proposing the reasons the Gestapo had to be created. An evil exists that threatens every man and woman and child of this great nation. We must take steps to ensure our domestic security and protect our homeland. I think I've heard that somewhere before. Michael Chertoff, head of Homeland Security in America. And now we have a Homeland Security. Homeland Security has suddenly become a name of departments and shadow departments. It's Homeland Security. So like I say, that's what it is. Okay. The Big Brother by-election. I do go on, and I probably will a bit longer now. Quite a bit longer yet, actually. There is... Now, you see, when you're going to control debate, and I want to say this, because, you know, I want to keep this within the bounds, not exaggerate and make bloody wild bloody claims that haven't been investigated. I'm not saying in this little bit that I'm going to talk about now with relation to this by-election that David Davis and Shami Chakrabarti, the head of Liberty, a bit like the Civil Liberties Union in America, I'm not saying they are in full awareness of what I'm going to talk about now. They might be. I have no evidence that they are. I've only been investigating this since I started to realize this election was not what it appeared to be. And I'm not saying that they know. But, you see, the thing is that there's different ways of putting people into places that suit you. If you've got someone of a certain mentality and you put them in a certain place, then you don't have to manipulate them, because that mentality is going to play that out the way you want it anyway. They haven't got a clue that actually they're being manipulated. But I don't know. It may be one way, it may be another. But what you get from these two, who have become the twin pillars of anti-Big Brother within the establishment, if you pick up any newspaper or turn on any television news bulletin now that involves a Big Brother type story, they will quote this lady, or because of this election, they will quote David Davis, who's now become the Mr. Anti-Big Brother. However, it's anti-Big Brother in an incredibly limited way, which limits the scale of the debate, if you can hijack the debate, so that these things I'm talking about today do not enter the debate. And I'll tell you this, although it's not appeared in the mainstream media, it has to be 10 foot high with glowing bloody neon lights before, you know, the Quentin Letzers of this world go, oh, what's that? But outside the public arena and getting very close to it, there is I really can't exaggerate this too much, a massive awakening going on all over the world of people among the general population who are starting to see this stuff and become aware of it. And if you are behind it, what you want to do is to hijack that debate about this Orwellian transformation from those with the bigger picture. You want to pull it into those that are talking only about the little picture, because in doing so you limit the debate and you hold the walls on this stuff that we really need to know about. And the more I look at this election, the more I see that all